The Crystal Skull demands your obedience, so click like or subscribe to the Heavy Underground.
With a ravenous Pittsburgh audience waiting, Kevin James paid a visit to the Carnegie Music Hall of Homestead on April 12, 2019, joined on this run of dates by Kevin Can Wait alumni Chris Roach. A night of outstanding comedy and entertainment is all but assured. Situated in the middle of a dense urban neighborhood, parking for the Carnegie Music Hall is predictably cutthroat, and many minutes are spent driving in squares and rectangles of varying size. Unfortunately, the final fleeting moments of Chris Roach are heard entering the building, but the sold-out crowd at the Carnegie Music Hall is soon greeted with a special visitor before Kevin James takes the stage. With a weekend engagement set for the nearby Improv Comedy Club, Rob Schneider joins the festivities as a surprise guest for the night's show. Deftly deploying a quick 12-minute warm-up set, Rob Schneider gets the crowd going with an uproarious comedy blitzkrieg. Topics ranged widely in his brief appearance, but the pitfalls of aging and navigating our modern PC culture wove a thread throughout his material. From modern outrage to the immediacy of social media, even the middle-aged dilemma of looking too ripped when working out, Rob Schneider showed little fear with his delivery, offering a stream of humorous discourse with waypoints about walking on eggshells, misplaced stereotypes, and the forgotten Asians in our midst. Rob showcases a compassionate and confused take on modern life. Leaving the crowd in fits of laughter, Rob Schneider introduces the man of the night, the King of Queens himself, Kevin James.
Hey, I'm trying to get, thank you. I'm wearing sweaters. I'm in my 50s. I'm at the age now, it's not that I'm less interested in sex, but I'm as interested in cookies. You know, it's difficult, more baggy clothes. You can't get too ripped though when you're older, because it looks weird. You know, it's like, because your skin gets stretched too thin. It's like, look how ripped I am. Yeah, but I can see your heart.
At 120 years old, the lack of effective air conditioning in the Carnegie Music Hall, compounded by the early onset of ass sweat, brings pause to Kevin as he begins his set. Suffering the Carnegie's lack of air conditioning like a champ, Kevin James plows into a side-splitting evening for the packed Pittsburgh audience. The fusion of 19th century architecture and 21st century body size combine for an extra warm and dense experience in the Carnegie Music Hall, as well as offering an unintended punchline for much of the night's weight-themed comedy. The need for a wake-up exit strategy when getting out of bed and the aches and pains of getting old lead the comedic charge. Soon a quick quip about doctor's visits leads to an extended conversation with the audience about kidney stones. Comparing sizes, Kevin and a member of the crowd discuss their stones until a Skittles segue leads to a few jokes about a recent pre-diabetes diagnosis and nutritional labeling. Coma survival and child rearing join the conversation as Kevin continues his fast-moving set. Returning to fat people problems and the joys of unhealthy eating, Kevin soon ruminates on the apathy of cows before an entreaty to the venue has Kevin offering to take a cut in pay to please turn on an air conditioner. Unintended comedy aside, the anonymity of Lane Bryant for women versus the dead giveaway of men's big and tall stores garners a healthy chuckle from the crowd. The tight seats of the Carnegie Music Hall, while adequate for asses of the 19th century, drive home Kevin James's self-deprecating fat jokes with an extra oomph. The inherent irony of Planet Fitness's no judgment policy, hot tub common sense, and a recent run-in with a deer keep the set rolling with continuous laughter. A filibuster on smartphone apps and their modern status as an enjoyable annoyance soon transitions to the perpetual annoyance of children as he bans his 4-year-old from the zoo for life. Pointing out modern confusion on acceptable punishment methods, Kevin contrasts his father's corporal methodology with today's self-esteem centered standards. From no zero policy in school and no school rules in sports, a riff about the unrealistic expectations of younger generations has the crowd roaring with laughter. A quick note on awkward political conversations and verbal diarrhea transitions, perhaps subconsciously, to a bit about getting caught in his wife's conversational traps. No shoe policies and the well-being of Ellen, or was it Helen, from Pilates, adds to his general confusion. The absurd notion of life coaching enters the conversation as Kevin nears the end of his time. Ludicrous idioms and useless advice, fat guy courtesy and weight loss jealousy are only a handful of topics that quickly fire from Kevin's mind in the final 5 minutes, concluding a side-splitting hour and 10-minute performance with a rapid-fire onslaught of humor. Kevin James has the crowd on its feet in vociferous unison as he makes his way off the stage. Getting the night started with a surprise warm-up set from Rob Schneider, Rob threads an edgier line with an unafraid dispatch that cuts through and across PC culture, age-related dilemmas, and the perpetuity of social presence. With this unexpected appearance from the preeminent man-whore himself, Rob Schneider readies the audience for Kevin James and his whirlwind of comedic energy. Entering to a hero's welcome, Kevin owns the stage as the Pittsburgh audience loudly cheers the multifaceted comedic maestro all night. Beginning his performance, the perils of aging, some crowd interaction about kidney stones, and the humor of coma survival offer just a few waypoints as Kevin's set gets rolling. Settling into an extended jam on the plight and peril of fat people, the lack of air conditioning in the Carnegie Music Hall, in concert with the 19th century seat dimensions, continue to reinforce the uncomfortably hilarious point. Joking about the technical deficiencies of recent generations and our hopelessness in the face of any mechanical repair, Kevin keeps the hilarity rolling as he enters the final third of his set. Changing generations and a corresponding change in expectations offer a confounding wellspring of inspiration for the perpetually beleaguered but always good-natured Kevin James. The anonymous nature of Lane Bryant, the inane nature of Planet Fitness, and the joys of child-rearing continuing a depressingly funny discourse on modern generations. Reaching the conclusion that his 4-year-old should be banned from the zoo for life, Kevin soon begins his rapid-paced end run. The final 5 minutes jump from topic to topic with an impetuous glee as Kevin James closes out an eminently amiable and ceaselessly hysterical show. With a quick-paced delivery and congenial style, Kevin James held court at the Carnegie Music Hall on April 12, 2019. Regaling the sold-out audience with his magnetic exuberance and everyman appeal, the King of Queens himself rolls through over an hour of engaging hilarity. Real-world examples and personal experience provide a relatable foundation for Kevin's jokes as he deftly led the audience through a wide-ranging and heartfelt set. Mixing short, comedic interjections with extended and uproarious exposition, a widely swinging set never lets the crowd's attention stray. The surprise addition of Rob Schneider to introduce Kevin James added an extra special twist to an outstanding night of comedy.
Just taking advice from people. You ever get weight loss advice from someone bigger than you? You ever get that?
You know what you should do? Not listen to you because you're out of breath asking me? I went to a neighbor's house and he had a bunch of people over and I walk in and right away I notice on the couch is a guy that's got to be $6 bills and he's just sitting on the couch and he sees me and he does like one of these things.